Welcome to our beer tasting. I'm Michael.
I'm Michael too. Or Michael 1, depends on...
He's Michael as well.
Yeah.
North Coast Brewing, located in the lovely Sunshine State.
North Coast, right? Like Canada?
North Coast, they're Canadian.
I don't think they're actually Canadian though.
Californians.
Californians?
Californiites.
Yeah.
California, San Diegoans. North Coast Brewing releases a beer or ale every year known as Old Stock.
Well, if you're in Texas, it's a beer.
Exactly.
You can only call ales if it's meets certain requirements. This may be an ale in Texas, I don't know.
Texas.
I just don't want you to be too loose with the term ale.
I'm never too loose about anything. Texas is like a whole other country, but so is California, and they.
You know, London recognized Texas as a country at one point.
I did not know that.
That's why we have an embassy there at one point. It's not an embassy anymore. It's actually a great restaurant. Texas Embassy. Try it in London. I digress.
Brought to you by the Michaels. On another note, cheese can be powerful, especially if it's stinky cheese. But
We're having some Chimay cheese tonight, though.
We'll get to that later. Chimay, another beer, another brewery. Actually, not a brewery.
They're a Trappist. Monastery.
Yes. As Admiral Akbar would say, it's a Trappist.
So I would say that. Big love for beer.
We digest mostly beer and cheese. But so Old Stock Ale is an old ale / barley wine, and we have 3 different versions of it.
So this evening we are going with the 2010, the 2011, and 2012 versions. The one closest to what you see here is going to be the 2012, then the 11 and the 10 after that. And we'll kind of hold the glasses up to the camera so you can kind of get an idea of what the color is, like how they look. Obviously the 10 and 11 have been aged a bit, and I just got my hands on some 12 today. So it's about as fresh as we can get it here in Texas. So.
And we'll give you our tasting notes as we partake of this loveliness.
Obviously, Mr. Bradford has already partaken some, which is why his glasses are shallow. I did not shortchange him on the tasting. He just decided to get a jump start to mentally prepare his notes to make sure that you, the viewer, gets a full wrap around.
Short-term memory?
Yeah.
Not really. So
we also have gone through a flight of the St. Arnold Divine Reserve beers tonight, which we unfortunately did not video. But so keep in mind that these observations are made post DR 8, 9, 10, and 11. So they may be a little looser than what we normally see.
There might be a little bit of impairment, but I put our taste buds up against, even if we've had a few beverages, I put our taste buds up against anyone.
Anyone? What about Michael Jackson? Not the singer. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. And, okay, anyone save Michael Jackson.
Whitney Houston, for sure, because she's dead. I'm sorry.
To boldly go where no man has gone before. Let's drink some beer.
All right, so we're starting with the 10. All right, so since I actually have beer in my glass,
yeah,
I'm going to show you what I have. So you can see there it's got a nice red color to it. It's actually held on to that slight head there for, well, we've been sitting here for what, 45 minutes? So it's held on that quite well. It's a bit cloudy, especially compared to the, get your tongue off my beer, compared to the 12, but I'll hold the other ones up in just a minute. So color-wise, you can see like it has a nice color to it, and it actually looks really close in color to the 11. And if you notice, since these have been sitting here, they've actually cleared up quite a bit. They're not quite as cloudy as when we first poured them.
That's true.
The 10 and 11 were both really cloudy when we initially poured them, whereas the 12 has been crystal clear, with the ruby color since the moment we poured it. But so, all right, here goes the 10.
Bottoms up.
Well, I was going to smell it first, but if you want to go ahead and take a drink.
No.
So what do we got there? Raisins, bit of coriander, very sweet smell to it. Definitely like dates, malts, like all the things you would expect from an aged beer that's,
It's fairly intense.
a barley wine type. Oh, you got to be here. You really need to be here.
You need to jump through your computer screen.
Your viewing box,
Whatever it might be, an iPad. If you're an Android lover, I have nothing against the Android.
Yeah, let's not get specific. Just the viewing box,
Right.
That they're
The piece of glass / plastic that you might be looking at right now, you really want to try to climb through that right now and have some of this.
yeah, because this is good. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is sweet. I mean, like sugar.
Be prepared. Yeah,
The
it's an onslaught.
the hops, which they Old Stock is kind of known for throwing a bunch of hops in there initially brewing, but I mean I can't hardly taste any hops in this. It's just so malty sweet, and it just tastes like candy to me.
Yeah,
but not in a bad way. Like I really like it. It's just
it's candy beer. I mean, it's
so maybe this is a good point since we have so much sugar in our mouth to have some cheese here.
Yeah, it's important to. If you're going to shock your palate,
To shock it again.
if you're going to shock it one way, then go ahead and shock it from both directions.
This is a classy joint.
I don't know about that.
It was a classy
I
joint.
haven't seen any joints. That's another video later. So you need something, obviously a good cheese pairing. I mean, you don't think about beers and ales in terms of pairing it with foods, but
Some of these old ales and barley wines are so sweet that if you can find kind of a funky cheese to kind of balance it out, it really helps you get through it. Because I mean, some of these are just drinking pure sugar, and if you can kind of balance that out with some water and some sharp cheese, even like a sharp cheddar or something like that, would probably like really help you get through this, because honestly that's a really good pairing. This is actually the Chimay red cheese, just in case you're wondering, which we picked up at our local specs here in Houston, Texas.
and it's not that it so much even distracts you from the flavor of the beer, it actually enhances the whole experience.
Why don't you just get all technical about it?
What? Isn't that why we're here?
I guess. Apparently some people care to watch us drink beer. Why are you watching us drink beer? I hope you're drinking beer with us.
Look, we just got another hit.
Oh, look at that comment right there. Look at that. So inappropriate.
A-hole.
It's because your shocker thing. That was so wrong.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Speaking of class, so we're going to keep drinking the 10 or are we going to go into the 11? You're almost done with your 10. I guess I need to drink some more.
Right. This is drinking with a vagina. So, enjoy.
Can we say these things on YouTube? Don't take us down, right? Nobody actually
Vagina
watches
is part of the female anatomy and sometimes the male anatomy. 2010 was a good year.
Yeah.
Just in general, I mean, the beer, yes. But
Well, let's talk about aging, because we kind of talked about this before we started the video. The 2010 is actually starting to get a little too sweet.
yeah, I feel that there could be, for some beers, and I've aged several beers, that there could be a kind of, going back to your point about sweetness, but there could be a sweet spot for beers where if you age them to a certain point, and it's hard to know where that is, that you reach a point of diminishing return where actually the beer becomes not necessarily unpalatable, but really loses its character. And I've had some 2010 Old Stock in my fridge before, and I've definitely noticed in its progression that it definitely sweetened and got kind of in your face. So I'd be interested to see maybe in another 6 months what kind of character this beer takes on. And at some point, maybe it's time to really move on and kick it.
So
kick
let
it
me
to
give
the
you the
curb.
cliff notes to what he just said. If you're going to age beer, make sure you get several of them, put them away, taste them occasionally. If they start to get too sweet, then start drinking them, because chances are they could go bad on you. because actually one of the reasons why we decided to have this flight tonight was because a fellow beer connoisseur recommended we start drinking these because they do get a little unpalatable after a while. So that's why we started. So if you're going to age them, you have to watch them. You can't just put them away forever and not taste them because that's just wrong, right?
So if I could give you the cliff notes of what you just said, that would be drink more beer.
Yeah, that's true. That is pretty much what I said.
Right. Drink more beer. If you're worried about taking up space in your fridge, drink more beer.
All right, so on to the 11.
Right. We won't steer you wrong.
This one goes to 11. 2011.
Because if you go to 10, where can you go from there? We go to 11.
Why don't you just make 10 higher?
These go to 11.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so we've had a chance to pre-sample.
Yeah. I like how we finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, we're both named Michael.
This one's really good. If you have been sitting on some 11, now is the time to drink it. I know it hasn't been out for very long, but especially since here in Texas, I don't know if this is the same everywhere, but the North Coast Old Stock didn't really hit Texas until late 2011. So I actually haven't had this for very long, and it's already incredible. Like I would say, this is like really the sweet spot for this beer. Probably maybe 6 months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably about how long I've had this. So
again, going back to the idea,
color wise,
right?
Just to give you like a little sample there. Doesn't really look a whole lot different from the tin. Here, you want a sip of this? Sorry, we're a very serious program here. Doesn't really taste a whole lot different than a tin, other than it's not quite as sweet. So it's not overwhelming. It's a nice balance, slight caramel. Again, with the kind of the dates.
Again, this beer or ale may have kind of a sweet spot, and this 2011
This may be it.
version might be right in the wheelhouse as far as a balance of flavor
And these wheels in the
intensity.
sky, they keep on turning.
Whatever he said.
I mean, do you even have enough left to taste? Couldn't you have saved it for the video?
If we do have future episodes in this series, you will find that I do not run away from a good drinking challenge. But isn't every day a challenge? I mean, this could be you never know, this could be the last beer you ever drink.
This isn't...
And it may be for rating's sake, I don't know.
Don't get philosophical. We're just drinking beer here. And let me bring up that point. I mean, it's freaking beer. Like, I've seen some guys online, we like to smell it. I'm interested in the color. I like the taste. But swirling beer? Why would you do that? It's not wine. Don't be snobby about it. If you don't like the way it tastes, then say it's crap.
You're not going to get a lot of technical notes here on the microphones. That's also our band name.
Nobody knows that.
Well,
I guess they know now.
They will know now, and they may tune in. Maybe we'll perform some music on a later episode.
We're going to have more than one? This is fantastic. Cheese for everyone.
Yeah, cheese and beer all around. So you won't get a lot of technical notes necessarily, because one of our goals is probably to bring more people into the fold of beer connoisseurs and beer advocates. So when you start getting too
Michael,
technical,
you mean there are beers other than Coors and Budweiser?
I hate to blow your mind, but
Consider me blown.
it's just one of the things that I do. It's one of the services I provide.
Blowing minds.
Blowing minds, yes. I blow really hard. When it comes to minds, no one blows harder than me. So, I digress. But you won't get a lot of technical notes. But the way we feel about beer is if you like it, you drink it. If you don't like it, give it to somebody else.
Because these are not for everybody. The alcohol is really high. I mean, we're talking, all of these are over 11% alcohol. They're kind of sweet. I mean,
there's an intensity to these beers.
This is definitely not a hopheads. This is not a light beer drinkers. This is a very specific palate, sweet, heavy, strong beers.
And that might be, a later episode might be an entrance into drinking, quote, more serious beers. Because if this is your first foray into craft brews and high alcohol beers.
This is going straight to 11.
Exactly, as he just indicated with the, yes.
2011.
I try not to enable him too much, but,
I still have some left. How's yours?
Mine was delicious.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have drank it all before the video. It'd be lush.
Notice I didn't argue.
So once you start in on the 12, while I finish off my 11.
Sure. So 2012,
Tell
obviously.
Tell me about the color.
If you notice, very clear. I'll move in here.
Yeah, you got to get up on there. They want to see it. Show them on their picture screen.
Hello. If you hopefully can see on your picture screen there.
Oh, that's a good one. Here, let me show them. I don't know if they're going to be able to see much versus the slightly cloudier on the 11.
Very very clear, very crisp.
I'm going to drink the evidence now, if you don't mind.
No, please. We encourage that on this type of program. So the 2012, obviously a younger version of this ale. Very, very clean, very clear. And,
Kind of metallic?
well, certainly in the flavor. It's. I was explaining earlier before we were on film or on hard drive. Is
on the picture viewing screen.
right. Which there's apparently a science behind how this works. I don't understand it.
That's magic.
Right, it's magical.
Apple made it.
Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Why gotta bring up the dead? First Whitney Houston, now Steve Jobs. It's so rude.
Apparently, it's a fixation I have. Very much right now, more of a character of a beer than an ale, and you may ask, what's the difference? And there's
Our opinion.
our opinion. Again, not a lot of technical expertise on this program.
This kind of tastes like something that would come. Well, let me show you me drink it first, and then I will explain. So this tastes like something fresh from the tap. It has a very clean, new taste. Again, it's a 2012, so it is new. But you'll notice it has very few bubbles, very small head, a very clean, not a lot of haze to it. And it tastes the same way. I mean, it has some of the same notes as the 11 and the 10, but much cleaner and crisper taste to it. It's interesting because, I mean, essentially these are supposed to be the same beer from year to year, so it's kind of wild to just taste the difference between the 10, 11, and 12 because they really taste like different beers with aging.
And the, as in all beers, some of the ingredients that are involved in terms of hops. With the 2012, there is certainly, I wouldn't call it a large or very pronounced amount of hops, but you can certainly find that in the palate, I think. There's a little bit of hops, not extreme bitterness.
It wasn't really present in the 10 or 11. I mean, it just mellows out.
And that's something that's very common with beers as they age, is if any hop character that they have will tend to mellow, and what happens is usually the malt and the sweetness moves to the front. And again, that's about as technical as I'll get with you. Just drink it, or my other advice for this one would be stick it in the back of your fridge and let it sit for 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I opened, obviously, this single 2012. I did buy a case of it, and I plan on sitting on most of it, probably for 4 to 6 months. Again, I'll open one up just to kind of taste it down the road and see how it's aging. But I mean, the difference between the 12 and 11 is just drastically different, and we're talking about 6 months of aging, so it's definitely worth sitting on because it really does get better.
Eat some cheese.
I'm not eating cheese off of your sword.
Obviously, there's no trust here. Yeah.
Especially,
Can I put some on your cracker?
I'll get my own cheese. Here, you put your own cheese on your cracker.
Obviously, we have a long way to go here on the Microphones Tasting Show.
Is that what the name of our show is? The Microphones Tasting Show? You vote. Right here. Go ahead and put in your little voting-ometer, and you let us know. What should our show be called? Because if you like it, we'll do more of it. I don't think people are going to like it.
I'm telling you, we just hit
Maybe it's like the cheese. It's
five
gonna be-
views, so we're good. We're on our way.
Oh, look, we just hit 5.5. Maybe it's like the cheese. It's kind of funky at first, and you wouldn't eat it by itself, but if you have it with some beer, it's much better. So, have us with beer. Our show, not us.
Or email me. My email address is
Don't tell them that.
Okay.
That's inappropriate.
probably right.
Because they'll do it. It's the internets. You don't know about the internets.
Yeah, nothing good.
So, any other notes on the 12 before we conclude? Because the internet's only lets you have videos so long.
Right,
People's
there's
interest-
bandwidth, and apparently, yeah. 20. If you get your hands on the 2012 Old Stock Ale,
Sit on it for 6 months?
I would say sit on it for a while. I mean, if you feel compelled to give yourself a point of reference, and you want to have one as soon as you bring it home, that's fine. But if you bring home a 4-pack, which they sell it in 4-packs of,
I have a 4-pack. Actually, it's more of a keg.
you know,
Sorry.
it's kind of a quarter keg. But if you bring home a 4-pack of the bottles, and I think you would be, it would be to your detriment to
Drink it immediately.
drink those immediately and blow right through them.
Yeah.
The Lord knows I'm an expert on blowing through things.
All right. So, obviously, if you have any questions about these particular beers and our opinions, which fourth, just put in your little commentary, like down yonder. We'll probably not read them.
Yeah, probably not going to look at it.
We're really all about the numbers.
I don't even really know how to open an internet browser. So
Browser?
yeah. So I don't know where
Is that the
this
person that shops, or?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know why they call it a browser. I mean, do you really browse? Do you browse the internet, or do you view the internet? Why don't they call it a viewer?
Oh, that's a good thing. We should start that.
Okay, so we're probably not going to review beer anymore because we're going to move on to internet business because we've just revolutionized it.
Do you think we need another beer?
We probably need more beer.
Yeah. We're gonna review it.
So until next time, keep drinking and don't stop believing.
And I'm Michael.
And I'm Michael.
And we're the microphones. That's stupid.
We're probably going to edit that out, so don't worry about it.
I'm not editing any of this. I hope you remember everything you said. Until next time.
Peace!
Welcome to the show. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes good, sometimes bad, some good, some bad. Some things we like, some things we hate, yeah. Some things suck, some things are good. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes good, sometimes bad, some good, some bad.